What's going on, guys? The Backwoods bogan here. So it happened again. I was on Marketplace this morning, scrolling through and come across a 2-for-1 deal I just couldn't say no to. So these are going to be a couple more toys for the channel. Got an Easy Go 24 volt golf cart. There's a little bit of rust, needs batteries, but everything else, all in all, the brakes and everything else seem to work on it. And we got ourselves a Yamaha petrol golf cart. Now this one looks like the clutch is off it at the moment. Don't know whether the engine turns over, starts, runs, does anything, but we'll soon find out. So I'll go get them untied, maybe get them unloaded, and then we'll go through them. I haven't had a good look myself yet, so it'll be interesting what we find. Alright, so this is the electric Easy Go golf cart. Now I've got the seat in the back of the cruiser. There's a little tiny speck of rust hole there, which I'll just patch up. Other than that, chassis is pretty good. Battery trays have seen better days, but I can weld up some extra battery trays pretty easy. That's pretty much just got to get some batteries. And this one should be pretty much up and running. He did tell me he's had this one running just on mower batteries. So it should be a pretty easy fix, this one. Brakes work good, rolls well, turns well, tyres aren't bad. Hopefully this one's an easy fix. Golf carts have got locked like crazy. Now, this one's the Yamaha. I'm going to have to delve a bit deeper into this one. Everything's there for the motor. Big tank, airbox is there, everything's there. A little bit of rust on these side frames for the seat. Can patch those at some stage. Airbox and carby's off, which is never a good sign. And the other thing is clutch is off the gearbox. Slightly worried. Just slightly worried there. I haven't tried to turn. Well, that's a good sign, that shaft runs freely. Let's try and poke it into gear and see what happens. I'll have to put these down for a sec, see if that works. Reverse works. Transmission's good. Transmission's good. I just clicked it into reverse. You see, grab that shaft. Whole thing moves backwards. Good sign, good sign. Full cycle. Okay, so that's engine oil. Ooh, it looks a bit mucky. I'd say the engine's probably seen better days, but we'll give her a go. Turns over. Good sign. But yeah, that was my pickup. Those two golf carts. So I may whack a battery in the Easy Go and just see if I can get it going. But we'll pick back up when I'm working on these again. Cheers, guys. Alright, so I've pulled the first one of the golf carts into the workshop. Going to work on the Yamaha first. See if it's worth salvaging this engine or whether I'm just going to drop another whole engine in it. I mean, this diff in this one, or this trans axle in this golf cart, has a reverse and forward drive inbuilt in it. So realistically, the reverse being in the trans axle, I can put pretty much any engine in this and make it work. You know, road bike, stationary motor, whatever really I can get cheap. And that'll get this one going, where the par car being electric, it just reversed the polarity of the engine, and reversing the polarity of the engine in turn turns it into reverse. So that transmission or that trans axle hasn't got any kind of reverse built into it. So I'm actually going to have to use like a quad engine for that, so that I've actually got a reverse built into the gearbox. That way I don't have to use a secondary gearbox or anything like that. So I won't use a stationary engine in that one. And I can't just use a dirt bike engine in that one, where this one I potentially can. So I might get you set up on a bit of a time lapse and I'll start tearing into it a bit. Alright, so before I get this on a time lapse, having a closer look at this, like the belt's off, but I'm wondering whether it's thrown the belt. Because if you look, you can see it, but on the back side of that carby, there's a chunk of plastic with a stud coming out of it. If you look there, it's actually broken the plastic manifold. Now, I could probably source one of those, but I mean, looking into the intake, it's not looking too promising. Even when I pull this engine oil cover off. You look down into there and this thing looks like it's never been serviced. Yeah, I could probably rebuild this engine, salvage it, whatnot, but I really don't know if it's worth it. Like those generators, that generator's good. They go for 100, 200 bucks. Can probably sell the engine to some old fella who wants to rebuild it to have it waiting to go in his Yamaha for a couple of $100. That makes this cart free pretty much. And at that stage I can bolt whatever engine I want in it. Alright, I'll set you up on the time lapse. Alright, so I had you on time lapse, but unfortunately the time lapse failed to record for some reason. So I lost the footage of pretty much this Yamaha snowballing, but I'll show you what's happened. So there it is. Engine's out. Gave up on it straight away. There's the wiring harness. So the plan is to whack another engine in this. We've cleaned up the golf cart a fair bit. I'll zoom out a bit for you. So there you go. Gave it another gurney. Sprayed a bit of black around. And there's all the room for our new heart. There's a fair bit of room in here. Been looking around on Facebook Marketplace for what I'm going to put in here and what's going to be the donor. And so far, I missed out the other day on I think it was about a 2012 Kawasaki Ninja 250. Now it's only a 250, but revs to 10 grand. This thing revved to about 3. I think the 250 would have been plenty of power for it. It was running, driving, had 15,000 original kilometres. I think it would have been a perfect donor for it, to be honest, and had a low enough that it could still sit underneath the seat. So that's the only limiting factor. I don't want to drop the engine past the frame rails because this thing will be used in the yard. So knowing me, I'm going to rip the sump off if I put it past the frame rails. There's a fair bit of room, but we're just a little bit limited on height. So my plan is I'll grab a torch. So my plan is to hopefully reuse these existing engine mounts here. Got one there, one over this side, one over this side, and another one there. And where they bolt to on the engines, these plates. So you can see here, pretty much bolts from there to there. And there's another one of those on the back. So I'm going to unbolt those off the engine and take them. And I'll probably modify those to fit the next engine, just so I can eliminate any kind of vibrations or anything like that, especially if this thing's got a Ninja engine and it's revving at 10,000 RPM and it's a solid mounted engine, you're going to feel it. It's going to be horrible. Where if I can just keep those engine mounts in there, it's going to make this thing ride a hell of a lot better. So far, that's where I'm at. As for my plan of adapting this this rear shaft, I'm actually thinking about using the hub off the road bike or whatever bike I decide to buy. And I'm actually going to mill this center out. I'm going to mill a section out of the actual rim itself, probably the bearing casing. I'm actually going to press fit this in there and then get my mate to alley weld it up to hold it in place. And then I'll cut the rim to size, and then I'm actually going to mill this steel down, and I'm going to get that slotted. I'm going to slot that back into the rim, and then hopefully I've got enough meat. Hopefully it's like a cast alloy, full cast alloy rim with cast spokes, not a small alloy rim. And what I'm going to hopefully do is re-drill through this, then tap the alloy and actually press fit this, and then actually bolt it to the alloy rim. So I'll cut the alloy rim down and realistically keep the sprocket mount only. Put this on the side that needs to be on, then put this on the side that it needs to be on. This is the main strength for the drive. It's actually right up against the gearbox. So if I can get this welded in to the alloy hub and then have this press fitted in and just bolted, I think that'll be enough strength to hold it in place. If I can do all that, then I haven't really had to fabricate too much. And I think that'd be the best way of fitting it. Be nice and light. It's not going to put too much strain on that shaft in there. So yes, unfortunately this is snowballed, but once it's done, it'll be good. And what it's going to achieve by using the road bike engine is for $800, $1,000, I've got wiring harness, I've got an ECU, hopefully got an EFI, like a fuel injected bike, and a good working engine. So realistically, instead of dealing with this schmozzle and this bird nest of wiring that's been tampered with by tens of thousands of people, I can just pretty much use the bike for everything and just bolt it straight back in. I'm probably going to go with a hand clutch to begin with. So there'll be a shifter coming out about here, running up to the side of the steering wheel here, and the clutch will be on the shifter, so you can just slam gears. That way I don't have to change these pedals. I can keep the full handbrake set up, So it'll still be utilised, will be able to be utilised in the yard quite easily. Now, other than that, things I've been getting up to is I've managed to get all the side of this truck on the top here pretty much ready for paint. Now, it's not perfect, but I am wrapped a line in it. It's all metal, just a skim coat. And in comparison to what it looked like in the first videos, it's bloody amazing. So all I've got to do left on this side is clean up that, fill in those few little rust holes that are left, fix this step, skim the last section there and the last side bit on that window. This side's ready to spray. Then it's on to tackling the roof. Now the roof, on the other hand, it's not so bad on this side. It's actually, after cleaning it up, wire wheeling it and actually giving it a coat of rust converter, it's not so bad. But as we get across, it just gets worse and worse until you've got giant gaping holes through the roof. I still have my work cut out for me, that's for sure. So the other thing I've been doing is, now that I've got this 35 on the Vitara, I realised that my clearancing just wasn't enough. I'll grab this torch again and I'll show you. And I probably won't film this because you saw the last one. You don't need to be bored with me doing this a second time, but as you can see, the tyre is hard up against it. So I just did not cut enough out of this arch. So as you can see, I've got a Nico line there that goes pretty much from where that hinge bolt's on, straight down all the way in line with the door. And that's going to give me all the clearance I need. So I've got to cut that wedge out and then bend that all back in again. And hopefully that's enough, because I have no more room to cut out of that pan. I'm hitting fuses on the inside already, so if that's not the case, we've got to go down sizes. Like I said, it's not going to be so bad because I'm doing a diff push once I go to patrol diffs, but that's hopefully down the track. I'm hoping to get a few drives out of it before I blow these. So yeah, the golf cart's pretty much now just going to be waiting for a donor motor. So once I get the motorcycle, I'll do another video up of what I bought to put in it, and then we'll go from there, fabricating up the motor mounts, getting the motor mounted in there, getting the fuel system running to it, fuel pump, battery, and then yeah, she'll be pretty much running. I think the most interesting thing is going to be trying to incorporate using the wheel or the hub off the motorbike and making it fit those cast pieces from the original clutch system so that I can actually put it to this transaxle. Now I could go get someone to just CNC me up a new adapter. I could just weld something up and make it work. I just think this is going to be the easiest way, and if I can reuse the motorcycle wheel, reuse these two pieces and get it all press fitted in and working, then why not? It's a free adapter. So yeah, that's going to be it for the golf buggies until I get a donor motor. Now don't get me wrong, if a quad comes up before I find a road bike for cheap, we might go into the Easy Go golf cart, but if not, I'll stick to the Yamaha. So yeah, if you like the video, press that like button, and I hope you subscribed. Thanks for watching.